let's go! Black Lives Matter! If you want to keep playing, you get right back up. Y'all hear me? What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Now! Get them! There you go, take them down!
When do our children get to just be children?
This game is serious right now.
How does change happen? Where does it begin? How do we make the future better than the present?
Come on, touch our toes. Let's go. Touch our toes.
It's a Sunday morning in the fall, and just like countless other teams across the country, the Seahawks are preparing to take the field.
Do we hit soft? No. We hit hard, right? Everything is hard.
But unlike their gridiron counterparts, this group is part of the San Francisco Police Activities League.
You know, the PAL is a program that tries to put police officers and kids together in a positive way.
Started in 1958, and it was a program started by officers in the San Francisco Police Department, so they would develop a relationship with kids in the communities, and they could see police officers as people instead of just a uniform.
By having officers serve as coaches for a variety of different sports teams, young people are able to build positive relationships with law enforcement.
This year, I have a coach, Coach Mike. He coaches with us. He's an officer. He actually came in his uniform one time, and the kids were just shocked. They never knew. They was like, "Whoa, Coach Mike, you're a police officer?" And they, they running up to him, touching him, like, "Is this your vest? This is, And they was just excited. You just see smiles. It wasn't like no fear.
They get to see the cop as a person, and they get to know the officer.
And just talking to him, not treat them like, "Oh man, that's the pigs," or "This 5-0, this the police, why you talking to them," and this, that, and the other. They give them much respect. And the police officers give them respect back though. We're gonna show you what football in the city is about. If you really come and talk to these kids and let them know and understand who you are, besides a person with a badge and a gun, then that'll change their outlook of things.
We want police officers to be people that young people are drawn to. Somebody they'd like to be, to come back to their own neighborhoods, to make those neighborhoods safer, and to have kids know that they're people to run to for help versus be wary of.
The impact, however, reaches far beyond the children.
Not only do you have the kids, but their parents have to get involved too. So the parents get to see the police officers as well, and have dealings with them.
And the community could trust them now. So when they see them like at the grocery stores or walking down the street, they say hi, everybody waving. Sit, go.
Even if we've had bad history with a certain family or a certain neighborhood, or not have it as we wanted it to be, if you're in a child's life positively and giving selflessly to try and get that young person to a better place, there really can't be an argument against that from any quarter.
When I was the captain of Bayview, we had officers out there interacting with kids at all of the largest housing developments in Bayview, Hunters Point. I couldn't go anywhere in the Bayview without somebody approaching me, telling me, "Your officers are doing just a great job." It gave us standing in the community that we didn't previously enjoy. It's not magic, but at times, when you look at the results, you think, wow, that was actually better than I thought it was going to be. And it went both ways. The police officers who participated in these programs also got to interact with kids in a completely positive way that it doesn't happen in day-to-day interactions in police work. When you get a police call, it's because something bad has already happened. It's completely negative. So when you establish different contexts and you start interacting with these kids, they'll remind you of your own children, and you realize, these kids have the same wants and needs as any other kid. They're just coming from kind of a difficult background and a difficult set of circumstances, and the more that you can interact with them as law enforcement, the more you bring these two kind of disparate entities together.
With racial tensions in our country at an all-time high,
On the ball! Get on the ball now!
programs like the PAL are a huge step in the right direction.
It connects the community with the cops and vice versa, and certainly at a time in this country when so many communities have strained relationships, especially in communities of color, we were already here. And so it wasn't a question of responding in to try and establish a relationship. We have a decades-old relationship through PAL.
In my dream world, you're going to see this proliferation of PALs in America now, partly as a result of some of the bad things that have happened in the past couple of years. It addresses so many of these issues we're talking about, and it brings the communities closer to the police, it brings the police closer to the communities.
1, 2, 3.
The Seahawks finished their season undefeated, but far more important than the wins are the lasting memories each child takes with him.
You know, we're playing the long game because you got to get this generation of young people to believe, and then you got to get them to those places, hopefully as wannabe police officers, wannabe people to give back, whether it's through PAL or another program, that begets the next generation, and then all of a sudden we just end up in a better place.
How does change happen? It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen through anger. It doesn't happen by being divisive. It happens when everyone, no matter what side you stand on, starts to communicate.
It's very, very critical, very, very important to have the conversation. So however difficult the conversation is, if we're all having the conversation, seeking to understand the other person's perspective, it means we're all in the game, right? So as soon as somebody unplugs or says, it's always been that way and it'll always be that way or whatever, then it's not being productive. And it's not about us, it's about getting us to a better place, everybody to a better place, then that's all good.
1, 2,